Super professional intro with no music so I don't get copyright struck. Struck. Yeah! Hello there, my name is Wimp and welcome to the refit of the old open cockpit utility HoverVehicle16 HoverDozer. Here it is, already spawned in. This is a low-level salvage and repair vehicle. Now, it was based on the original Hover Speeder, which has been updated to this. Now, that's not what I'm going to do with the refit. I'm not going to update it with the newest version of the Speeder. There's a few things that I'm going to do and talk about what I'm going to do. Yeah, that was great English there, Wimp. So, first, this won't be called the HoverDozer anymore. It's going to be called the HoverBreaker, as in a breaker vehicle that breaks up other vehicles, kind of. Now, the reason it's not going to be called HoverDozer is because I have the open cockpit mining vehicles here that are named Digger, Driller and Excavator, and then the old enclosed cockpit versions are also called the Digger, the Driller and the Excavator, and because they're now both going to be in the same line of vehicles, the first run series, I didn't think I could get away with calling two vehicles Hover Diggers just because one is open cockpit and one is enclosed. See, it worked before, sort of, because they were two separate lines of vehicles, the open cockpits and the enclosed ones. So I decided that the name HoverDozer, which is what this one is, should be used for one of the enclosed cockpit mining vehicles. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to change this. Another thing is that this new salvage and repair vehicle is going to be an enclosed cockpit vehicle. And that's because there are some vehicles, especially the mining vehicles, that have an open cockpit and an enclosed cockpit version. The Hover Speeder here does as well. But I don't want to do that with these repair and salvage vehicles. I just want to have one version of each. It's going to be one per CPU tier. But yeah, I think rather than having two per CPU tier where one is open and one is enclosed, I would rather just have an enclosed cockpit one, and then you can use that even on a planet with a breathable atmosphere. So let's have a quick look at this just to see what it used to look like. Now, I think this was, because it was based on the Speeder, it's got loads of small thrusters, and that wasn't based on the Speeder. The Speeder had some mediums, but I lowered its cost because it was a higher unlock level, I think, if I remember right. But anyway, so as usual, I've got my starter arrow out, and my pockets are full of the stuffs I want to put on the new one. And I'm sure you can already see the first thing that's going to go down. This is the Tier 2 CPU salvage and repair vehicle. The Tier 1 CPU one is the Hover Creeper over here. So this is going to be the kind of upgrade from that, as it were. Now, as with the Creeper over there, I already know that I need a large generator for this vehicle, because the small generator, if I remember right, is 700 power units, and the multi-turret here uses 750 units while it's in use. Power units, that is. So it definitely needs that, which is 1500. There we go, that's better. Energy out, 1500. 1.5 thousand. So there we go. Now, fuel tanks, I'm hoping to get on 4 of the large ones. I do have, in my possibles down here, the small fuel tanks as well, just in case I have a hole or a gap that needs filling in. So this will be a single seat, and because it's going to be enclosed, it will need a ventilator, and I'm planning 2 O2 tanks. It will also have a Wi-Fi and of course the detector. Right, let me just get out the next lot of stuff. Right, the next lot of stuff is on my toolbar. Also up here you'll see that I'm planning to build out of carbon composite and the normal windows. So the right hand side of the front of this vehicle will have a all glass canopy. Cab, I suppose actually it would be a cab, but whatever. And then on the left hand side will be the tool turret. Now this will be the be a civilian vehicle, so its turrets will be retractable. Now I also want it to have a drill, so that if you dismantle a POI and you end up in a big hole in the ground, that you can get yourself out of it. I can't see the line that this going to rotate around. There he is. So it will be armed, but only with, there we go, only with 1 Gatling turret. It's going to have a fridge and an O2 station, just in case it's needed. Propulsion wise, it'll have, why does that always go the wrong way first? It'll have 2 mediums for forward. It'll have 2 mediums for reverse. And then it'll have 3 smalls for lateral, and I'm thinking I might just do, if I can get it on, another 1 small for forward, possibly, maybe. Now, hover engines, there'll be 1 in all 4 corners, as you would expect. But because of the off-center multi-turret, and they're not light, I wonder if it'll tell me here. Mass 800 kilograms. Oh, that's the minigun. Although I did want to check what the difference was. Oh, there you go. 1.09 tons. So 1090 kilograms. Right. So because of that, I actually want this to have another hover engine in the middle-ish to help support that turret at the front. Then it might need an RCS as well. So let me just get out the next lot of stuff. Right. So it might need 1. It might need more. It might not need any. I'm not entirely sure. But we'll see how it goes. But there's 1 on there just in case it does need 1. I think probably 1 hover booster, maybe 2, possibly. Yeah, maybe. 4 docking pads, of course. It'll have, like I said, a glass cab with a glass door leading into it. Now, because that's obviously not airtight, it will need, I don't know why I turned them upside down, it didn't really make any difference, but it will need force fields to keep it airtight. And then it'll need an ore and wood container. Now, I'm planning, based solely on the fact that the creeper over here has just slightly short of 2400 in its storage units. I couldn't remember what the SU stood for then. I do want this to be double that, so I'm hoping for at least 4.5 thousand in the SU, but I'm going to try for 4,800, but we'll see how that goes. It depends on the sort of shape it gets, but there we go. Oh, and of course, I have forgotten something. It's going to need an ammo box. That one? No, that one. Yes. So, I don't think I'll bother putting a... Maybe I'll put one extension on that, but it depends on the space. Yeah, I think it depends not only on the space, but where I put it in the vehicle. I've not figured out yet where it's going to be, but I know the back half underneath the turret here will be the container extension. So I don't know how that's going to work, because obviously the two controllers would conflict. But we'll see. I'm sure I can figure it out. Okay. Oh, and then the usual little bits, the lights, the flares, and the hazard beacon will of course go on. Let's have a look at the CPU. Oh yeah, plenty. That's good. Righto then, so that's everything I want on it. So I'm going to start throwing some blocks around, and I'll bring you back when I've got something to show you. So I got this. Yes. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of quirky. I think it would look better in the paint colours. I think. I hope. So yeah, I had a little trouble getting that to 48 while making a shape that wasn't just a boring box. So here, for example, where I've gone in a block, if I hadn't done that and I made the floor, including those blocks, the container extensions, and then this was container extensions as well, it meant the vehicle only needed to be about that long, and of course that turret wouldn't really fit on that vehicle then, and it would look even more stupid than it does now. I mean, it's still missing some blocks. I'm going to give it, you know, this sort of shape around the thrusters and things, but yeah, it's not brilliant, but never mind. Do you know what? I think actually I'm gonna... Oh, can I do it? No. No, there's fuel under there. Lying flat. So I managed to squeeze some more fuel on the bottom. And I had 4, 2 there, and then 1 behind the seat. So I don't mind losing that one, and then I can put just standard blocks in that hole. Now, it is airtight. I have tried it, and just in case... Yeah. So, yeah, breath's in there. But there was a little red O2 icon out here. And it seemed that the O2 was getting out through this somehow. Although it doesn't seem to be now. See, there was the blue O2 icons in these O2 tanks. And all the fuel. I mean, I figured it's getting out through... No, I think it's getting out through this, or it was. Ah, there you go. So that's fixed that. Okay, never mind, so ignore me. I mean, it wasn't an issue. The inside was still airtight. And it wasn't like it was pissing oxygen out into space, but, you know. Do I want a shutter? Maybe. I mean, I've put the flares there, so it won't all be covered, but I am going to put some wall panels over these container extensions. I mean, I don't know. So it's got 2 RCSs, by the way, which gives it a yaw of 69. It's not exactly fast, is it? And a CPU of 7752. Aye. There we go. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of it looks like a toy. It looks kind of cute, you know. So I was gonna do like a sloped cab, the glass, I mean, but I think I might save that for the bigger ones. And I sort of tried to do this as small as possible. Yeah. There we go. So her centerline, by the way, is where the middle of the turret is, and that container controller. That's the centerline of the vehicle. And it's only this that hangs out by an extra block, because I thought it would be good for, you know, bzding stuff over there. Whereas if I had it, yeah, and of course it would have been an even number wide, which would have meant I couldn't really put that in the center. I mean, I could have done something with it. Actually, ooh, okay. I just came up with a plan. I think I'm gonna move the turret over one block so that it's in line with the cab, and then this bit will have extra container extensions and it won't be as tall, but it will come out as wide. Okay, do you know what, I'm gonna save this real quick and then I'm gonna give that plan a try and see how it works out. You can see in here, there we go. Oh no, that's renamed to Dozer. Yeah, you can see I've, in the Steam Workshop, I've put in brackets what I want to recall stuff. There we go, renamed to Breaker. Yeah, so I'm going to save over this when I change this, and then I will give that plan a try and make it more asymmetrical and see how it comes along. Okay, and right, okay, I'll see you in a minute when I've done that, and I'll show you how stupid it looks. Can't be any worse than how it looks now. Right then. It's now even smaller. So I still have some ideas, because I still got to put some lights on it. Now I think I'm gonna do a shape up here that holds a forward pointing light that's a slope. Oh. I could do it there and sort of blend it, because I'm planning either a step or a ramp. No, I think a step would be better. I could try and blend it into that, maybe, and have it down here. I could do both. Have it down here as a forward pointing and up here as a diagonal. And I think I might do like a light array here, where there's one pointing sideways that way, and then two diagonals pointing that way and that way. Yeah, so I think this shape is going to change slightly in order to accommodate that. I mean, it as with many of my vehicles, including the refits, it's definitely form following function. And I didn't want it to be big, because it was just a single person. I mean, it's not entry level salvage and repair, that's this, but it's a low level salvage and repair. Oh, so storage wise, I got the 4800 I wanted. It's slightly over, but meh. I mean, that's kind of okay. I mean, yeah, again, it's form following function. That'll do. Yep, that old joke again. And why not? So, I'm going to put some lights on it, and I'm going to put some shapeages round the thrusters down the side. Ooh, I didn't see that. I'm not sure I like that. If I move that back, I'm going to have to get rid of that RCS. Anywhere else that can go? Not really. Oh, I suppose... Wait a minute, are these extensions? Yes, they are. I suppose I could go down... It would go down by 125, wouldn't it? So 47.50? Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm going to do that as well then. Righto. See you in a minute when I've got that done. Right. It's all built. Put a handrail on it because it looked a bit boring. Not sure about the step, but I tried other shapes, and of course you can't really put them at the bottom of a block. So, because I tried things like so when that's at the bottom of the block, it's yeah, and it doesn't look substantial enough that you could be able to stand on it to get through the door. So I did that, and the handrail was just because there wasn't much down this side. You know, as you can see, the lights are done. Yes. And the docking pads and the jump boosters are on as well. So I think it's ready for a test drive. Now I'm not holding out too much hope because I'm still within CPU, but statistics wise 51 degrees on the yaw, 26 meters per second squared acceleration, and not very much in the other directions either. So I did what I said. I moved that thruster back, moved forward technically, moved the generator forward, moved the RCS in by removing a extension, which means this is now 4750. Yes, I mean it's a bit haphazard, but you know it's a piece of industrial equipment. I mean, when you look at a digger or something, some of them have the boom arm with the shovel on the end on one side of the vehicle and a cab on the other. They're not always symmetrical. So, whatever. I don't know if there's a better way of transitioning from that shape into the bottom of the turret. I don't know. Because it looks sort of... it looks like it's leaning over. Fuck it. That'll do. Yeah. Second time in one video. Are we going to go for 3? Maybe at the end of the test drive. Right. I'll see you down on the planet then. Right, then here we are. Right, when I've done a quick test drive, I will land it and see what it's like to jump up onto that step. I mean, I don't see any problems, but you never know. It might need maybe like a bit of a roof at the top so that when you jump up you bump your head on it and that allows you to get in the door. I don't know, we'll see. Right. Okay. Yeah, It's not too bad at all. You can get up to very nearly top speed. Oh, where is my measuring platform? I wanted to see if it sits flat on flat ground, but of course you can't really guarantee flat ground out here. It really is a stupid looking thing, isn't it? I don't know, it's got, in my opinion, it's got sort of a Tonka toy charm to it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with it. Aye, so let's park it. Come on, Parky, don't do it, Parky. Be sensible now, Parky. Yeah, just because I'm parking it. Right, righty. Let's come out of GM mode. GM mode. Right, jump. Up you get. Whoa! In? No. Yes. I mean, I'm not expecting to actually be able to get in. Although, I mean, there is a block space there to stand in. Yeah, it's not going to let me in at all. There we go. So I wonder... I mean, I'm not all that bothered about the fact that it's difficult to actually step in the door. Because, ta-da, you know? So, yeah, I'm not all... Ah, my nose! Shit joke. I think I'm okay with it, to be honest. It looks sort of... Really? What? Okay. Yeah, it looks sort of... industrial... See, I wasn't sure if I was going to put that up there or at this level, and it would sort of shine through there. Obviously, I wouldn't have that bottom bit of the handrail, but... Actually, you know what? No! Moron! I keep doing that recently. What do I prefer? That? So I tried it, by the way, where this wasn't an L shape, it was just a straight line shape, and it didn't look right. Yeah, I think I prefer it like that. I wonder if I can do anything with that space. I'm not entirely sure there is anything I can do with that space. Not really. Ooh. There's an option. Rather than having the container controller accessed from the back, I could put it there. Right. That's a plan. So I'll see you in a bit once it's painted. Although for me it'll be tomorrow now, probably. Alright then, see you in a while. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to paint it yet. I've decided, I mean, as you can see, one thing I've decided is that it should be steel and not carbon composite. Although there is a little bit of carbon composite on it. Stuff that doesn't really need to be steel. Now, in the last clip, I think it was the last clip because it was actually 2 days ago now, I wasn't too happy with this shape. So I think what I'm actually going to do is move the turret back into the middle of the vehicle like it was earlier. Yeah. I think I'm going to do something a bit different with this. I kind of want a forward pointing light on this as well. And I'm probably going to take the light off here. Or I might keep it there and have it a diagonal light that shines that way, but yeah. So I'm going to play around with the shape again. So I will see you in a bit. Wish me luck. Okie dokie. I'm a bit more happy with it now. A bit. So this is what I've got. I extended the... I mean, it was just a step, but now it's an actual platform that you can sort of stand on. Yeah, I think, yeah, 3 blocks high, isn't it? Oh, although that is actually a little bit into the bottom block rather than being the top of that one. But yeah, there you go. I mean, it's a bit odd, but it's less odd than it was. So I've got some pictures here, and you can sort of get an idea of what I was trying to go with regards to the kind of asymmetrical cab here, sort of on one side, and a bit of a bulbous back end, sort of. I don't know if I want to do... yeah, no, I don't think I want to make that low, but then longer. Let me use my brain mind to see how that would look. So it would come down there, the turret would be there, but a block lower, and the vehicle would probably come out to there. Yeah, no, I think it looks better in my opinion, being that short, tall and wide kind of vehicle, rather than being long. Oh yeah, and this kind of thing, although this one's called a creeper after the car mechanics creeper board that they would roll under a car on, they are sort of supposed to be like this, like a really tiny thing that you sit on. That's kind of their real world equivalent. My god, what is wrong with my mouth today? Right, I'm going to shut up and paint this before my mouth embarrasses me even more. But yeah, oh, so one thing I did, and I didn't mention, or I forgot to mention up till now, instead of having the sloped thrusters, I've gone with the flat ones. I sort of think it looks a bit better. I'm thinking that detector could be moved somewhere else, and I could put a small thruster there. Alright, I'm going to get those out, and if I remember when it's painted, I will show you where I moved that to. I might forget, so just keep your eye out for it. Right-o then, see you in a while. Right, it's all painted. Yes, it looks a bit better than when it wasn't painted. That's like saying a dog poo looks better when it's painted, but there you go. I mean, it's okay. People who build actual diggers and things, they don't really care how it looks so long as it does the job. I mean, they're not supposed to be aesthetically pleasing, are they? Nor's this, really. Okay, so next time you see it, devices will be named grouped, so I'll see you in a bit. Oh, before I do that, I forgot to say I decided to up this to 5,000. I thought it makes... well, it doesn't make more sense, it just makes things easier. The fact that this isn't quite 2,500 isn't really an issue, but I think considering each next one up is supposed to be double the carrying capacity of the last one below, I decided rather than saying that that is 2,400 and this should therefore be 48 and then the next one would be 96 and so on, rather than trying to remember like an odd number, Why don't I just say that's 2.5, that's 5, the next one is 10, the last one is 20. It's so much easier, so much more simpler. Yeah, so I upped it a bit. There's a couple of extra ones under here, which is where I got the extra space from. Yeah, that turret does look a bit better, I think, in the middle of the vehicle, which is there, than it did in line with the cab, I think. In my opinion. Oh yeah, I made this smaller because it didn't look right. I mean, the whole thing doesn't look right, but there you go. Righto then, yeah, definitely see you in a bit when I've done the devices. Right, it's all finished. The devices are grouped and named and the signal logic is done. Not that there's much. So, as usual, the hazards come on whenever you turn on a resource gathering thing. But if you don't like that, you can always remove them. I've made a couple of changes actually. So I've put that thruster back to a small instead of a medium, and added an extra hover engine there, which is now on the max lift shortcut, custom shortcut. Where is it? There. And there's an additional RCS in here now. This was the original. That's now set to max lift as well as that extra hover engine. There was, weirdly, a block missing here, and I don't know whether I had something in mind for it, but I put another RCS there, and that's on by default. So yeah, that it's the same yaw, despite the fact that it's right out here. So and empty when you turn max lift on, that goes up to 66. Now obviously that would be made worse by the weight, but I would rather have the max lift on this vehicle because although it only carries 5,000, that's 5,000 litres, not necessarily 5,000 kilograms. So it could be quite heavy depending on what you're carrying in there. There was something else. Oh yeah, I added the shutter door here so that you can access the O2 tanks. There isn't one for fuel, but there is a fuel tank right behind the chair, so I didn't think it was necessary. I moved that shutter door and the container controller up by one block because it was there and it just felt a little bit too low down, especially if you're stood on that little platform there. Anything else? I think there was a oh no, I've talked about it all already. Maybe. Yeah, I think I have. Oh, I removed a hover booster in order to get that extra hover engine in. Otherwise it would have been covered up, and I don't really like doing that. I know it doesn't make any difference, but still. Right, so there we go. It's all finished. I hope you get some use out of it. I'm not going to say I hope you like it, because, you know, like I said, I think it has some sort of Tonka toy charm to it, but yeah, much like other vehicles of mine, it's definitely not pretty. It does the job. Hopefully then as well, I'll either see you in the other video for this build, the tour, or in another video for another build. English words fucked up. Right, thank you very much, and goodbye. Oh yes, I remember something else I changed. I removed the glass panel that was there and put in that block. I replaced the 2 single glass panes here with a 2x1 pane. I lengthened the windows up here. This black bit was originally there. and I made that window pane a 2x2 rather than two lots of 2x1s, just to save a little bit of I think it saves a bit of weight as well as silicone, but there you go. Right, definitely the end now. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Super professional outro! Just to give you time really to remove this video from your watch later list or something.